most respected President of today's function, our dear Vice President, Sri G.V. Selvam, the hero of today's function, Dr. Thiruvengadam, the distinguished Vice Chancellor of this great university, Dr. Anand Samuel, my esteemed friend, the Director of VIT Business School, Dr. Ashok, again my esteemed friend, the Editor of Weekend Leader, Mr. Vinod Kumar, my dear faculty colleagues, distinguished invitees, and my dearest student friends. I am delighted, overjoyed, nay elated to be part of this grand function. At the outset, I must convey my grateful thanks and warm gratitude to our Vice President Sri G.V. Selvam for suggesting me to be a part of the jury to select the weekend leader. This is a great responsibility. Even as a teacher, when I am used to evaluate the papers, I always used to think behind that paper there is a young boy or a girl who is trying to come up in life. Whereas 50 years ago, my colleagues will see that paper as giving 5 rupees or 10 rupees. That is the money that used to be given for evaluating a paper. When you are going to sit in judgment over the performance of somebody who has done yeoman service to the society, all of them must be almost on the same footing. How do you decide? So I created a framework for myself before I started this exercise. One of the outstanding articles that I read almost 45 years before was very useful in doing this exercise. I must draw the attention of some of my young friends here that John Ruskin was a powerful thinker of the 19th century. He wrote one of the beautiful works, Unto the Last. His prose will look like poetry. I suggest to all my young friends to read this work of Unto the Last by John Ruskin. In that monumental work, he says that in any civilized society, there are 5 professions which are considered as noble professions. Number 1 is that of a soldier who is fighting in an unfavorable working condition in Kargil, who is willing to make the supreme sacrifice of losing his life for the laudable objective of providing security to all the civilians like you and I in the society. He is driven by that kind of a laudable goal where he would like to sacrifice his personal life for the sake of fulfilling the goal of providing security to all the civilians. So he keeps that of a soldier's profession as a noble profession. Second profession that he considers is that of a preacher in a church or in a mosque or in a gurdwara or a temple who maintain the moral health of the society. Who are the people who maintain the moral health of the society, the do's and don'ts? It is the preacher in a religious place, who maintains the moral health of the society. Third one, he mentions that of a teacher who maintains the intellectual health of the society. Who are the people who passes on all the stored knowledge up till now to the next generation of students? It is the teaching community who do this. Therefore, he keeps the teachers as people who maintain the intellectual health of the society. Fourth one, he mentions that of a doctor who maintains the physical health of the society. A good mind can work only in a good body. You need to be physically strong, physically healthy. Otherwise, even when you are brilliant, you can't do much. So a doctor's profession is considered as a noble profession. Fifth profession that he considers is that of a judge, who in his previous avatar is a lawyer. They maintain equity and justice in the society. Therefore, he says all these 5 professions are to be considered as a noble profession in any civilized society. Then he makes a very interesting observation. Can you identify any one of these professions as the noblest of the noble profession? And then he says, if you want to create a soldier, there is a teacher soldier in Indian Military Academy who trains these people to become a soldier. Even when you want to become a preacher, there is a teacher preacher who trains these people to become a preacher. Even when you want to become a teacher, there is a teacher who trains you how to teach in a B.Ed. M.Ed. program. Even if you want to become a doctor, the great doctor was produced by a teacher doctor in a Madras Medical College and Stanley Medical College. It is a teacher doctor who does that. Even when you are a judge, you are in a previous avatar as a lawyer, there is a teacher lawyer in a law college who trains these people. The noblest of the noble profession is that of a teacher. So when they ask me to felicitate, I ask the question whether I am competent enough to honor a well-known doctor who is sacrificing so much of his personal time for the welfare of the human beings. Sir, the only qualification that I have to felicitate you is I am a teacher. I have been a former Vice Chancellor. Another sitting Vice Chancellor is going to honor you, but I don't always claim that I have been a Vice Chancellor. I was not born as a Vice Chancellor. I am not going to die as a Vice Chancellor. I was born as a teacher. I will die as a teacher. A teacher's profession is the noblest of the noble profession. Sir, the kind of service that you are doing is fantastic. In my days, in every city, we used to have a couple of doctors like you. In Trichy, where I lived, Dr. Easwaran was like this. He passed away last year at the age of 93. He used to see all the patients in the product of Madras Medical College. He will not even keep charge. He will keep a hundi. Some people put 5 annas, 2 annas, 4 annas. Some people will not pay anything. Somebody may put 100 rupees also. Don't put a restriction. My sincere suggestion is, if somebody can afford to pay and give that money, you can recycle it and help the poor people by giving the medicine. That's what Dr. Easwaran used to do. Again, Dr. Ranganathan, again a great doctor, used to have a marriage minor. He will drive in the night at 12 o'clock to the Cherry to see whether the patient is comfortable. You don't have to call. They will be worried. Those days are gone, sir. Today, I have seen doctors in Bangalore who charge 500 rupees. He will not even feel your pulse. He will not touch you. The moment you enter, he will write the prescription. He will ask you what is ailing you. You say you have a headache, you are vomiting, you are running fever. He will start writing a long list of prescription. Then he will give long test to be done, lab test to be done. In those days, the diagnostic skills are so great. Dr. B. Ramurthy was my colleague, was my neighbor in Trichy, eminent neurosurgeon. His father, T.S. Balasubramaniam, by looking at the coating on the tongue, he will say whether you are suffering from malaria, whether you are suffering from typhoid, or whether you are suffering from pneumonia. By looking at the tongue on the coating on the tongue, that kind of diagnostic skills have disappeared today. So, your species is becoming a vanishing species. I am very happy that still such good doctors exist. Dr. B.M. Hegde, whom you referred, was my contemporary. He was the Vice Chancellor of Manipal University when I was the Vice Chancellor in Kanchi University. He is a great doctor. He is an examiner for FRCP. In one of the seminars, he said, today, all these labs are doing the following service. You enter the lab as a healthy, normal human being. When you come out of the lab, you have a list of ailments which he has suggested. You are suffering from diabetic, you are suffering from hypertension, and if they keep on reducing the values. Once upon a time 100 was considered normal, now they are making it 80 so that everybody will become a diabetic. Right? So they create healthy beings to sick human beings. That's what the medical profession is doing. There are so many causes. There are private medical hospitals where they charge 1.5 crores for an empty seat. Return on investment, I need to look at my... You almost did it free of cost. Nothing. Almost nothing. My daughter also studied MD in CMC. She got 25,000 rupees stipend. I didn't spend a pie towards my daughter's medical education. So, your attitude towards treatment and patient's care is something unique. So, I must kindly draw the attention of my youngsters here that you take such people as role models. Our Vice President's thought of bringing such unsung heroes to the campus is just to enlighten and motivate and inspire young people that such gloriously selfless people who work for the benefit of the society still exist. And that is ultimately the objective of any human being. Making money, you can sell hot in biddies and make money. That cannot be the objective of a human being. They have such a laudable goal. Welfare of the humanity. Welfare of the health of the humanity. He is driven by that kind of a passion. Money doesn't drive him. It is the passion to keep the humanity healthy is driving him. Sir, I would like to convey our heartfelt thanks on behalf of all those assembled here, on behalf of the top management, for the wonderful yeoman service that you are providing to the humanity. We cannot say anything but to pray to God Almighty to give you Ayur Arogya Saukyam, a long life, healthy body, Ayur Arogyam. If you are long lived and sick, no use. Ayur Arogyam and Saukyam, mental peace. We pray to God Almighty give you Ayur Arogya Saukyam. Thanks for the opportunity.